The heebie-jeebies. I'm joined by Richard from Rentokil. Good morning to you, Richard.
Good morning, Alan. How are you?
Not too bad at all, Richard. You and I have had a good chat. It's a while since we spoke, though. When last we spoke, we were at the heart of the pandemic and we were talking about the influx of pestilence or pests coming in particular rats. Since then, I've seen some amazing news reports about rats in certain areas of the country. How big an issue is this at the moment?
So, yeah, it seems to be getting a lot of news coverage at the moment. There's a lot of places seem to be under siege, and we're seeing personally from our point of view in Rentokil, we're seeing that calls are up again from this time last year. 29% of our calls have come from Dublin. Kerry's quite high up with 16, and then Galway with 11, Cork up again 9%. But everywhere seems to be up on calls.
Yeah, and have you any stats on Wexford at the moment? Is there a rat issue here?
It's not in the top 4 at the moment. You guys are doing quite well. But it's pretty much a nationwide phenomena. Again, going back to the same reasons we talked about last time. And again, it's been very, very mild. Mm-hmm. So mild weather is good for breeding conditions. It's good for food conditions for them. And that's what we're seeing. And again, because we are now starting to move out of our lockdown phases and phase out of it, but we are still quite close to home. We're all more aware of our local environment, and we're in places we wouldn't normally be because we'd usually be in our places of work. So it's making us more aware of these.
And are they particularly huge, the current rats we're seeing? Are they bigger than normal?
You're seeing some of those photos. Anybody who's a fisherman will understand the photos because the rats are being held away from the body to look larger. But on average, we say a common rat grows to about 300 grams, a large one around 500, which is quite a big beast when you look at it. So that they are reasonably big, and especially if you're not used to seeing rats, a rat's going to look reasonably big to you.
What about mice? Is it a big problem? Yeah.
Yeah, mice, again, we're getting a lot of call-outs for mice. Again, especially house mice, because they're in and around buildings. So during the day when you're at work, they're going to be a lot more active and you're not going to know about it. So yeah, we're getting calls for mice too.
What do you do if someone calls you about birds in the eaves of a house? Is there a preservation order on birds in that situation?
So all animals and birds are protected under the Irish Wildlife Act. And then we've also got bird legislation as well. We've got the Irish Bird Directive that falls from the EU Bird Directive. So there's birds that can be taken straight away that under the directive, and there's others that are protected. With ease of the house, we've got to firstly look at what type of bird it is. A lot of the time it could be a starling or something like that, or you might be that you've got house martins or swallows nesting. If those guys are nesting, then generally you have to leave them alone. You need to get in touch with Department of Ag, get the wildlife officers out and there have a look. And generally they say, well, if there's nothing in the nest, then you can probably remove the nest. But if there's eggs or young of these birds, because they're protected, then you won't be able to do anything until the nests have fledged. Then once they've fledged, which is usually around September, when the breeding season's then over, then you can look at removing the nest and the nesting material, which you should do anyway because of secondary insect infestation.
Right, okay.
And then you can look at pest-proofing it, bird-proofing it, so they can't come back.
We're going to look at the whole area of businesses reopening and the advice. This is one of the main talking points we have. But what I'm speaking to you, ants and also nests, etc., wasps and bees. Yeah. Let's look at ants. Ants is a big one, isn't it?
Ants and wasps are starting to kick off now. So again, with our ants, the most common garden ant we deal with is, as I said, the Lasius niger, the common black garden ant. And we have the phenomenon of what we call ant day, where you get the big swarms of flying ants where they all go up into the air to mate. These guys are single queen colonies. They follow pheromone trails. And they're more of a nuisance pest for us. They get into buildings, they get into homes, and they get into businesses. And they're just really foraging for food. So the main thing with these is to find the nest and then neutralise the nest with a chemical, and that ends the problem. But we have to be careful, especially in businesses, hospitality industry and that sort of thing, because there are a load of tropical and semi-tropical species we now get, things like Argentine ant and Pharaoh ant, and they're a lot trickier to treat because they're multiple queen colonies, and if you spray them, it puts stress under them and it causes them to bud. which makes the problem worse because you then get lots of little satellite colonies, which will develop into large colonies themselves.
Wow. Yeah, sounds very, very interesting and something to be very, very aware of. But now let's look at one of the main talking points at the moment. It's the return to business. And Rentokil have warned of top pest threats for businesses to be aware of when reopening. So a lot of businesses may have lain dormant for a while. The pubs are going to lay dormant for another little while. It's a big, big talking point and a big discussion point today on the programme. So, let's talk about pubs, for example. If they reopen and the fact that beer is in cellars, etc., is this an area that publicans need to be vigilant on?
Again, yeah, of course it is. Any building that's been left idle or left with a skeleton crew becomes desirable because it's a quiet, stable environment. It's not disturbed. So there's plenty of pests who like it. Going back to our rodents, rodents love quiet, stable environments. There's going to be material. There might not be food, but they can. Again, if it's rats, they can access sewers, so they can feed in drains and sewers. It's something to be vigilant of. Any building reopening up, they need to be looking at that, especially if they've not been able to have pest control because there's been nobody there to let us in. So rodents are a big thing. Again, with pubs, we're looking, once they're opening, especially with social distancing, a lot of less urban ones, the more rural ones, you're going to have a lot more of outside seating. So this is where your wasps are going to come in. So it's going to be looking at things like putting wasp homes up on the periphery, how we store our empties, and how we move product in and out. So there's those sort of things. And a lot of it now as well with social distancing, with pest control, same with our rodent baiting. We've developed a lot of smart devices that will contact and talk with our online system. So it reduces the number of visits you need, but you've still got the protection.
Yeah.
What it does, it will inform us when something's been caught or when something's taken bait so that we can come out and then reset it.
Yeah.
So you've got this sort of thing. But yeah, the whole starting up a business, again, it's same as disinfecting a premises, making sure you've got your hand sanitizers and all that sort of thing in, which is really a conversation for Initial, our sister company, looking at that. But yeah, there's lots of things to look to, but rodents definitely be the main ones. Then you're going to be looking for things like cockroaches, which can be established, especially in city centres, and getting in treatments, getting everything ready. It's just giving everything an MOT, making sure it's in good order before we need to open it up.
It's great advice, Richard. Lovely to talk to you again, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. But has there anything that you've ever come across in your time with Rentokil that has frightened you? I mean, have you ever come across an animal or been in a situation where you've been cornered by rats?
No, but we get very strange things happen every now and then. I've had to go out to a supermarket once because they'd got an unidentified creature in goods in, and that happened to be a scorpion that then got rehoused in Dublin Zoo.
Wow.
The other day I got asked to look at something, and it was actually leeches coming out through an uncapped water pipe above a ceiling that nobody knew about.